Good evening. We will get started with our Madison Board of Education. Let's stand and say the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Roll call, please, Robin.
Mrs. Melissa Walker?
Here.
Mr. Mosier?
Here.
Mrs. McKinney?
Here.
Ms. Amy Walker?
Here.
Mr. Wigton?
Here. I need a motion to adopt our agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. McGinty?
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker?
4.
Mr. Mosier?
4.
Ms. Amy Walker?
4.
Mr. Wigton?
4. I need a motion for the approval of our previous board minutes.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mosier?
4.
Ms. Amy Walker?
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker?
4.
Mrs. McGinny?
4.
Mr. Wigton?
4. I see we have presentation of certificates. Mrs. Klink?
Sandy Davis, she is, I don't have any picture today. We have Bud here to take pictures.
Where's Bud?
Sandy Davis.
Do you want me to take one?
Retiring
I say I
with
can go
35
take
years
one
of
with my phone.
dedication to Madison schools. And her willingness to put in the extra time and effort has demonstrated a dedication to Madison that we will all greatly miss. She's been a friend to all. And I'm really going to miss her.
Come on, we gotta see you smile.
Don't know. Okay, we have no visitors that we're recognizing tonight at this time. Committee reports, anything with our legislative committee?
No.
Okay. Athletic Board of Control did not meet this month. Student representative, Tammy Baker.
My internet's been out since Thursday, so I couldn't print this off this time. But hi again, everybody. I just hope you guys are all staying safe and that you're doing well. There's not really much going on at the high school because we're in quarantine again. We were in quarantine all last week, and now we're in quarantine again until after Thanksgiving break is over. So I hope we're going to be back then because online school is not the best thing, but we're pushing through, and we're hoping that it'll get better. A big thing that did happen at the high school, however, is our girls won a state championship on Friday. I actually got to go to the game. It was a really, really good game. Really enjoyed going there and seeing them play again. We can't really do much for them besides like pep rallies and stuff, so our teachers put posters all over the school of them, like saying how proud we are of them. And something that we were going to do this week was dedicate like 20 minutes of our 5th period to like watching some sort of soccer video that the teachers or the students had made, or watching part of the game, just so everybody could like get the experience that the people that were at the game felt. But unfortunately, we're not in school, so we can't do that. Like I said, we're going remote again, and the clubs, we had a couple things planned. Like for NHS, we were going to do like a Thanksgiving tree, and we actually had a meeting today over Zoom, and we're thinking about calling it maybe like a blessing tree or something, putting ornaments on it. We want like a little bit of decoration at the school because since we haven't been able to do much because of COVID. So a couple of kids stayed after school on Monday, and we got a little tree up, and we were going to make leaves and put on there, but we can't really do that anymore. So we're thinking about adopting something to do for Christmas instead. And they're also starting their fundraiser for Mary Madison Christmas for the butter braids. So, I mean, if you guys know any NHS kids, you guys want butter braids. And then I don't really have much else after that except for interims come out on Friday. And I don't really think anything else. So thanks for your time, and I hope you guys all stay safe.
Thank you,
you.
Cammie. Our facilities report.
Mr. Christ is a little under the weather, so he wasn't able to be here tonight.
Okay. I see the map in there of the roof, which is
We'll
what-
talk about that later under my report.
Gotcha. Board Policy Committee?
Nothing.
No, nothing really. I mean, we met with Mr. Peterson, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, on the two policies that you see under superintendent's business, number 7 there, policies 6114 and 6325. Nothing out of the ordinary. He met with both Jane and myself, and those are just federal guidelines on how we spend federal funds, so just common language in those. It's just the first reading, so if you want to, see and have some night reading, you can take those and look at them.
Already did that part, and it was kind of sleepy. Superintendent's update.
No, wait, don't forget.
Oh, student achievement. I'm sorry,
I
Jane.
have something. Okay, this one part was interesting to me. Every month, we get something from OSBA's Director of Student Achievement, and this is probably a national thing, and it was under tips to improve student achievement, and one of the topics was discipline becomes murky with remote learning. Now, here it goes. Some school officials in some districts are considering how to apply rules and discipline while students are learning remotely, including dress code and the presence of toy guns and other visible items in the students' homes. They were advised by the Director of Education Law and Policy to use caution in doing any of this. So they don't have enough to do, I don't think. They're not supposed to be looking through all of the house. They're supposed to just be teaching the students, and it's rough enough. I just thought that was interesting. That was all.
Okay, thank you. Rob?
Yeah, just a couple items. One, I'll just kind of echo Cammie's comments regarding the volleyball or the soccer team. Girls soccer won the state championship. They defeated Granville 2-1 in the state championship game, and it was a very exciting game, very nerve-wracking.
Our career development programs, I put COVID-19 impact. I'm just going to list some of the things that we were dealing with at that time. We had approximately 90 students enrolled at the time of the school closure. Obviously, just like K-12, we were forced into remote learning. We had to postpone some of our programs and even cancel some classes. But we did return to in-person on May 18th. And during that time, we were fortunate to have only 7 students drop. 2 did go on leave of absences, but they ended up coming back, still enrolled and trying to complete their programs. And, I'm happy with those results. We were really worried how it was going to impact our adult students. We were very hands-on. Skill training, and to force them to, go home and learn remotely. We thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a disaster. But with our instructors and our staff going above and beyond and just working tirelessly and reaching out, connecting via email, phone calls, Zoom meetings, they used Google Classroom. They were able to keep our students engaged, and they all came back and graduated. We obviously had delayed program end dates, which then, resulted in delayed start dates for this school year. Working through all of that. But we did hold a socially distant graduation, very similar to what the high school did in June, and graduated 109 students from the 1920 school year. And then other impacts, which everybody was impacted across the state. All the departments had to take a 20% cut. So did the Ohio Technical Centers. And then obviously with course cancellations, postponements and such, we had some loss in tuition revenue. Our career development programs, right now we have 91 students currently enrolled, which is very similar to the number last year at this time. So, all of that I just went through, it hasn't really impacted us negatively overall. We do see some lower enrollments in our healthcare programs. We're not quite sure why that is, other than maybe just fear of getting into healthcare. But overall, our enrollment is pretty steady in comparison to last year. And at the bottom, there's our overall performance results. And you can see our completion rate is 79%. Students earning a credential is 96%. And then the placement rate, we have 79% in related employment, related to the training that they took. Overall positive post-program placement is 87%. That includes students that are enrolled in non-related career fields or went on to further education, military, whatever it may be. CARES Act funding, the district received CARES Act funding, so did Madison Adult Career Center, and I listed some of the funds that we got. We received $110,102 from the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund. 50% of that had to go directly to our students who were enrolled at the time of the school closure to cover any emergency needs or expenses that they were dealing with at the time. The other 50% was for institutional purposes, and I've listed, the ways that we spent that money, and which has been just awesome. We're able to get some laptops with docking stations for staff and training, tables and desks for social distancing in the dental lab. You can see what we did there. Also, we received a $10,002 coronavirus relief fund. We used that money for additional laptops with docking stations. And then we found out just like a month ago, we got an additional $5,001 through that coronavirus relief fund. And we purchased some advanced model venipuncture training aids. What we are finding in our healthcare programs, the externship sites are shutting down and they're not allowing students in, and if they are, it's one at a time, one here and there. And so these are artificial phlebotomy or artificial arms that they can do their sticks then in the lab and get their sticks that way, and that's why those were purchased. And then we received a $389,898 Fund for Improvement of Post-Secondary Education grant. And we are in the planning stages and hoping to do a cosmetology lab renovation. That lab is extremely tight, and with the number of students that we have in that lab, both at the junior, senior, and adult level, you just cannot social distance. It's very difficult to do. And so we're researching and working through that with that, and hopefully most of it, if not all of it, will be covered through this CARES Act grant. If not, if there is a little bit left over, it'll come out of the Adult Ed Fund or weighted fund through Career Tech. We are also looking at getting an updated student enrollment management system. Guys, we are so far behind in this. The system we are using is a nightmare. It's not web-based. Students can't access it. We have tons of spreadsheets because we can't pull reports out of it that we need. So this CARES Act money is allowing us to get this enrollment management system where we will have a student portal access for students. Instructors can access it and put their own grades and put their own attendance. The reporting capabilities is going to be amazing. We have to report to so many different entities, and all of them require different aspects. That's why we have to have all these spreadsheets to try to figure out numbers manually. So we are super excited about that. We've purchased some online curriculum, and this grant's also going to help reimburse some of the losses that we had with the state subsidy tuition revenue and some additional payroll that we had to pay out. And just some other news, the LOSIC Foundation grant, I've shared this with all of you before. We are in our second year of that and received our second $25,000 donation this year. And again, we're going to purchase high school senior toolboxes and toolkits for our high school seniors in our machining lab. This is strictly for our machining program. And then 4 additional CNC simulators, renewal of the MasterCam maintenance license, and then also use some of the money for adult student scholarships. We received additional Ada Ford Foundation grants. Another $65,450 for adult scholarships, another $1,500 for our student crisis fund. And then we also received a special $55,000 grant from the Ada Ford Foundation to renovate our healthcare lab and get that updated with furniture and equipment that was needed. And some marketing initiatives, we're continuing our social media engagement. That has worked extremely well for us. We did some virtual program tours, posted them on our Facebook and website, and the response we're getting from those has been amazing. And we're also looking at a new logo design, thanks to Mr. Musser, getting me going on that with his new logo for the Career Tech program. So if you flip the page, you can see what we've come up with, which is very similar to the MCT, Madison Career Tech. And we'll be able to do a lot of marketing campaigns together with a similar look and similar colors. I think it's time to move from the gold and black to the green, Madison green color. That's who we are. Even though we serve outside the Madison area, we are Madison. So I'm pretty excited and happy about that. And that's it. Have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia.
Good evening. Just give you some brief updates on the Career Tech at the high school as well. First of all, just a brief overview. What is Madison Career Tech? For those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone here does, but the main goals that we have are to develop technical skills in our students that are aligning to our area businesses and really trying to make really strong relationships there between local industry and business and our school system. We're also really trying to allow our students the opportunity to earn industry-recognized credentials so that they're prepared to enter the workforce, and provide students to pathways for post-secondary options, whether that be college or entering right into the trade or military, whatever that might be. We're really trying to help students figure out what their path is and then help them get there. This year we're excited. We have some increase in our student enrollment. We're up to 283 juniors and seniors enrolled in Career Tech. That's 64% of students in those two grades.
Wow.
And that's an 8% increase over last year with the enrollment. Some updates that we did from the last time I was here. We did some lab renovations that were in need. The labs have been around for a while, and the times have changed a little bit. We have some programs that were typically all male programs that now have female students enrolling in them, and we were having some locker room and restroom issues, so we've updated some locker rooms and restrooms. We've painted the welding lab. We've done equipment upgrades for carpentry, a little bit in cosmetology, and then our new cybersecurity lab as well was outfitted. We also have updated some technology with regards to touchscreen panels in the front of all the Career Tech classrooms. And we also have purchased some iPads and computers for our automotive technologies program. So students actually now are diagnosing cars on iPads and things as they're working on them. We had a focus on billboards and postcards and websites and digital displays around the school, really trying to advertise Career Tech, what it means to be in Career Tech, how it's changed from the traditional vo-tech mindset to what does it mean now in 2020 for Career Tech. And that's really been a strong push for us, and I think successfully. T-shirts, everything. I kind of joked I'll put the logo on anything I can at this point, just so people realize that we're there and that we're here to service kids. For this year, we have a shared focus among the staff, and it's really raising our achievement scores. But how is achievement measured is really kind of a philosophical question we grappled with. So web exam scores, which is our state tests, is one thing. The state report card, of course, when it has letter grades on it, that's something that we would look at. But then also our credential attainment, college credits that students can earn, our enrollment numbers, how we're expanding and looking at programs, and how we're aligning to industry standards are all ways that we measure achievement in Career Tech. So really, we're kind of trying to take a holistic look this year on how are we raising our achievement, how are we raising our scores in Career Tech, and really showing everyone that we're as good as we all know that we can be here at Madison. This year, these are the programs that we offer. I'm not going to read them all to you. The main difference is the cybersecurity program that's been added. We've had a lot of great success with that. Like the other technological issues we've had of getting things in on time because things get stuck on ships or wherever they're at, it was a slow start, but now that we're up and running, the kids are loving it. We're having a great time, and we've really appreciated all the hard work that everyone put in to get it to where it is. So that's just been a great program for the kids. We do have 7th and 8th grade programs at Madison. Some engineering, computer science, robotics, engineering, food, life skills. Those are all there down here at the middle school for students to take advantage of and do some career exploration at early ages. Career tech, big pieces. When I talk to parents who call in or former students, I hear a lot about Skills USA or VICA or FCCLA or the organizations they were in. And so I'm going to invite two of our advisors to come down and talk to you about some of our students and some of the accolades they've earned in the past 2 years. So Karen Von Stein and Jim Thompson are going to come down, and there are two Skills USA advisors. I'm going to let them talk to you about a few of our kids.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to come and speak to you today. I'm Karen Von Stein, and this is my second year as a Skills USA advisor, and it has been a phenomenal experience from having Clayton Stankovich elected as our regional president for Skills USA last year at Rotary in Washington, D.C., to having him being the National Honor Society president this year, and he's in the running to be a valedictorian for Madison. He has just been our shining star until now. And we have Michaela Wiles and Dylan Mapes, who couldn't make it tonight. They were recently elected as our regional officers. They will be attending Rotary. It probably won't be in Washington, D.C. due to COVID, but we are hoping that they will get to have those experiences, and hopefully we will have another regional president representing Madison. Did you want to say anything?
No, I just stand here and look. Decoration.
Did you want to say anything? I'm going to allow Michaela to come up and talk about why she decided to go into career tech and what this opportunity is going to do for her.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Michaela. I'm a junior, and I'm in the welding program. And I'm not going to lie, it was really scary joining, considering it's typically a male field, but now I have 6 brothers, and it's pretty great. I joined simply because my family is pretty much a blue-collar family. We've got welders, we've got carpenters, we've got machinists, we've got mechanics, and so I kind of just grew up around the blue-collar. And so I immediately just fell in love with welding, and it's probably been the best decision. Considering I've been at Madison my whole life, it's definitely the smartest thing I've done is joining that career tech. Now that I'm officially a regional officer, that's so weird to say, but I don't really have any big plans as of right now simply because of COVID. It's been hard. Even preparing for the election was really difficult because it was hard to get together. We haven't done very many lessons learning exactly what Skills USA is all about. I have some ideas specifically with trying to get sophomores involved. I feel like we have a lot of kids that don't really realize what Skills USA is or realize that they're going to be a part of it when they join a career tech, and I'd really like to get more kids involved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela.
And now I'm going to allow Clayton Stankovich to talk about some of the experiences that, because of the board and the support we've gotten from the school, he's been able to experience so many things that he probably wouldn't have got to experience, and I wanted to express our appreciation for everything that you've done for us.
Yeah, thanks for letting us come out today. I was talking to Mrs. Von Stein earlier about, kind of where this all started. And, I traced it back to, in 10th grade, she came up to me in the hallway and she said, "Hey, Clayton, there's this ODOT, Job Shadow and Engineer Day out at ODOT. Are you interested?" I was like, "Well, I don't know." In 10th grade, I didn't really know what I wanted to do after high school. So I was like, I might as well give it a shot. And, when I was at ODOT, I learned a lot about electrical engineering and things like that, which really kick-started my interest in electrical maintenance type things. So when scheduling came around, I enrolled in the electricity program, which was a good move for me because it's a really good program. And Mrs. Von Stein was telling me about something called Skills USA, and was telling me that it has something to do with how to be the best employee you possibly can, and learning about workplace skills, technical skills, personal skills, things like that. And, you know, I watched videos about it, read about it. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. So, you know, once I got in, we had a summer leadership conference that we went to. And we did all kinds of leadership activities, really like team bonding things and how to work with people that you don't know, which was really different for me because I was usually pretty shy and things like that in school. But Skills USA is really good with cracking your shell open and getting you out there and learning skills that you wouldn't learn in regular school or really in a job. But they really give you that, how do I say it? Kind of like a, what? Yeah, like an opportunity to do things like that. Another opportunity they gave me was to run for regional office. And, you know, I watch politics all the time, so I was like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to run for office and really learn about those leadership skills and how to manage a team and facilitate things. You know, I wrote a speech and went to Columbus, and in front of 50 other delegates, I gave my speech, and, you know, they asked me impromptu questions. I was not used to that before Skills USA, and it was really entertaining. It was a lot of fun, and I ended up getting elected, as you may know. And, you know, through this year of being a regional officer, it's really taught me a lot about leadership, how to get the most out of people and kind of break them out of their shell and help them learn about leadership as well. And it's really awesome that we have 2 more regional officers this year to kind of keep that ball rolling at Madison. And yeah, it's really good for the school too, because there's hundreds and I would say even thousands of people in the Northwest region, which is the region that we're in, that is in those career technical organizations. And when they see Madison and the kind of people that we have, it's really good for the school. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clayton.
You know, when I approached Clayton and we went to the regional competition and fall conference, he won an award. And he said to me, Mrs. Von Stein, the only award I'd ever won was for attendance. Look at him now. We never knew the shining star that he was until we got him into Skills USA, and now he's really shining. So thank you, and thank you for the opportunities you give us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So for this year, continuing on with the student organizations that we have, remote learning while they're online. I will say that being online is a special challenge for career tech when you have students for half the day, and it's a very hands-on, typically hands-on fields that we're working with. It poses its own special challenges that we're working through, but I have to say the teachers are doing a phenomenal job. They're giving it their all. We're having a lot of great conversation about how we can try and enrich students while they're at home and really still try to provide the best education we can for them in these areas. Strengthening the relationships with the local employers and stakeholders, and then continually gauging interest for the future. We have to continue to look forward with our programming needs based on student, local data, and state data as well. We want to continue to strengthen their ties for future with the college, adult training opportunities, whether that be through maybe the Madison Adult Career Center or local colleges, military, job placement, continuing to look at industry, increasing our enrollment, and really just to continue to rebrand and continue this stamp of excellence that we're trying to create here at Madison. So, any questions for me regarding career tech?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You guys have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
Thank you.
You too.
Okay, this time we need a motion to Accept donations.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion.
Crozier?
4.
Mr. Wigton?
4. And I'd like to thank these companies, both of them, for their support. Treasurer's report. Do we have a motion to accept?
So move.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to do my forecast presentation.
Okay.
So it's up there if you want to look. So, of course, the 5-year forecast is from July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2025, next 5 years. As you can see, shows the revenues versus expenditures. This graph captures in one snapshot the operating scenario facing our district over the next few years. We started spending more than we're taking in last year in fiscal year 20, and we are modeling the most current state revenue data in 21, which is House Bill 166. This graph shows the table graph of the revenue sources, and as you can see that the state of Ohio contributes 61.6% of our revenue stream, and then the other 38.4% comes from local sources. This year, or in 2020, was a reappraisal year, so we are estimating that it will start the 2020 taxes will be collected in 2021, and we are estimating about a 2.4% increase in taxes. This is a table graph showing the difference between what we get in the state funding versus what we get in our local funds. State funding for last year and this year was cut by the state due to the COVID-19 recession. We had a reduction of $411,000 in both years, for a total of $822,000. And we anticipate that the state will go back to fiscal year 19 levels for the remaining 3 years. We are hoping that the legislator is listening to what Rob talked about earlier. We're hoping that does some ground, because if it does, that will help us immensely. So the challenges to our operating revenue is the state budget, of course, because if they go back to fiscal year 19 levels, that's not getting any increase in revenue. The only increase we've had is for our student wellness and success funds, but that is restricted and can't be put into our general fund. We did recode some expenses from the general fund to the wellness. And then, as I said, we did get state funds that were cut in May for last year and this year. And we also have tangible personal property that we get a reimbursement from the state, but that is being decreased every year until it runs out to zero, which is about $215,000 a year over these 5 years that we will get less of. This is showing the estimated expenditures for this year, which was $36,848.31. Wage and benefits take up about 74.5%, which isn't out of line at all. We will have 2 premium holidays this year, which will have us a savings of about $1.2 million, which helps with those percentages. This shows where, by object level, where all our funds or expenses are for the last 8 years, 3 actual and 5 estimated. And as you can see, our expenses are increasing, and the biggest area that is increasing is on our benefits.
When you say benefits, you're talking insurance.
Yes, and retirement, mostly insurance, yes.
Yeah.
This shows the ending cash balance over the last 3 years and then the 5 forward. By law, you can't go below 0, and they actually target that you should have between a 30 and 60-day cash balance. So this year, we're estimating about a 52-day cash balance. Next year, about a 33, and then we will be in the negative in 2023. So like I said, the House Bill 166 froze our funding to fiscal year 19 levels, so we've had no general fund revenue increases. Then they also cut our funding in 20 and 21. And we anticipate, hopefully they will go back at least to the 19 levels, but we're hoping more than that. Other proposals like College Credit Plus and special ed scholarships, they continue to increase, causing our cost to go up. And it just seems like the state budgets are continuing to shift more of the responsibility over to our local taxpayers, while also allowing other schools' choices to happen and erode our costs. We will have union negotiations in the spring for 22 to 25. And also, I didn't put up there, but we have our renewal of our 6.9 tax renewal that will have to be voted on by November of 2022 to not have any lapse in revenue there. So thank you, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Very good.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Roll call.
Okay, Mr. Mosier,
4.
Mrs. McGinney,
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker,
4.
Ms. Amy Walker,
4.
and Mr. Wigton.
4. Matters related to personnel, I need a motion to accept those.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion?
Yes. I'd like to present Shelley Barr, with her blanket on behalf of the district. Ms. Barr has been a longtime teacher in the district, and I have had, being high school principal and working with Ms. Barr, had the opportunity to work with her, and she has been a stellar employee and has added greatly to our to the high school and to the district, and just want to tell her how much we've appreciated all of her work. And in the last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years or so, one thing that she's done is worked with our credit recovery students, which are students who are at risk for not graduating, and she's invested a ton of time in those students, and we've seen a number of students graduate who otherwise, without her persistence, probably would not have made it. So just want to thank her and present her with this at this time.
Can't make it up them steps there, girl.
Oh, you're too fast.
Melissa gets to be pictured.
Our official board photographer tonight.
Hey, congratulations, Shelley.
I know, who is? I'm sure someone will take over.
Okay, I think we're up to voting now.
Okay, Mrs. McGinney,
4.
Ms. Amy Walker,
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker,
4.
Mr. Mosier,
4.
and Mr. Wigton.
4. Superintendent's business. I need a motion to accept that.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion?
Yeah, just bring to your attention one item. You do have in your packet a site map of the high school, and highlighted is Part G of the roof, and that is the section of the roof that we will be repairing we will do half of it this fiscal year, and then the other half next fiscal year. We've had a number of problems with that roof leaking on the second floor of the high school above the office. We've had a number of issues with that, so basically redoing that whole portion of the high school roof. And so that's item 3 that you have.
Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Mosier,
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker,
4.
Mrs. McGinney,
4.
Ms. Amy Walker,
4.
and Mr. Wigton.
4. See any visitors that I think want to discuss anything with us, so we'll move on. I want to thank you, Rob, and Robin as well, because she had a part of it, and all the rest of the administrators in the district for the newsletter that you've put out. I actually read all of it. It was very good. It was very informative, so thank you for that.
Glad to do it, and we're hopeful that we can connect with the community, especially, a lot of the parents know what's going on, but the community at large sometimes doesn't, and we want to get that good stuff out there.
Right.
And I have had a couple of emails and phone calls commending us on that from some
Good.
community members, so
It's
I
something
think
that's
they've
been
enjoyed it.
needed for a long time,
Yep.
so that's been great.
Thank you.
Okay, our next board meeting will be December 16th, which will also be earlier in the month due to the Christmas vacation. And at this time, we need a motion to go into an executive session to discuss discipline, A4, and also G,
So
a
moved.
grievance, so,
Second.
I motion.
okay, second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? We will vote when we come back in, from executive session, so roll call, please.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Mrs. McGinney.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
And Mr. Wigton.
4. Okay, we going upstairs to the room?
Oh,
Pardon?
wait, I didn't hear anything. Wait a minute. What time is it?
Okay, I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Can't write this fast. Mrs. McGinney.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Mr. Wigton.
4. Next, I need a motion for grievance 1 to,
Make a motion to uphold the superintendent's decision.
thank you.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Mrs. McGinney.
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
Mr. Wigton.
4. Grievance 2, I need a motion to uphold the superintendent's decision.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Mrs. McGinney.
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
Mr. Wigton.
4. This time, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I hope there's no discussion on that one. Roll call.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Mrs. McGinney.
We're ready to.
4.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
And Mr. Wigton.
4. Thank you, everyone.